understand why they brought each of you. I think you're for South Africa.
You're right, I was here for the South African, but I actually feel like I connected a lot more watching it. I feel like I connected a lot more to you.
Really?
Yeah.
Me too, infidelity, yay. So much fun. He asked if I would meet him where he was to talk about things, but then we ended up doing other things.
So you're telling me that Kalani is on this show giving advice to the other broken toys because of infidelity? Which infidelity, Kalani? Your infidelity or your husband's? Because you spent the entire time on the last resort airing out that he cheated on you in the past. You left the resort in the middle of the night where your children were staying, your sister was staying, and your husband was staying to go out there and bang another dude. Is the circus in town, ladies and gentlemen? Do you want me to get you a funnel cake and some popcorn? Y'all are gonna love today's episode. We have a great show planned for you here at Yourwetsock Incorporated. What Tanya is saying is that's the metric for why she was chosen. That is the reason why the network found it appropriate to pick these specific older cast members to give advice to the new cast. Cheers, Socks. The holidays are coming up, and if you want some great gifts for yourself or your loved ones, please check out our Amazon storefront. Now, let's get started with today's video. You see, in the past couple videos, I've talked about the importance of mentors imparting wisdom, especially when it comes to, older cast members. And I brought up Benjamin and Akini. There's a lot of other couples that I could pick from, but they're my favorite hands down because they literally documented themselves building a life together here in America against all odds. And I find that very inspirational. I want what's best for these cast members. I want them to get the help that they need. Even though they're broken toys, they're still humans at the end of the day. With the exception of Sarper and Shekinah, my Wetsock's The Tell-All has been an absolute circus. You know it, I know it. We've been reviewing this show for years, and for years we have actively been losing brain cells. But I'll tell you what, who they picked to give advice to this new cast is ridiculous. Tim, why is Tim there?
We're friends, and he'll message you, say, "Hey, Daddy, what's up?"
Yeah.
Wow, there's so many stars in the sky.
Full of them.
Makes you think of all the hot guys in the world.
And he knows it's all in fun. Because, he gets crap online about his orientation, and he's not. But he is comfortable in his own skin to play around like that and stuff, so...
They're not real, man. That's so funny. He's comfortable enough in his own skin. That's fucking hilarious. There is no way Kenny truly believes that. He's smarter than that. Come on, guys. And I feel like that meme, you sure about that? You know that guy? Because Tim does not seem comfortable in his own skin. If anything, this is a gimmick. And Tim seems to be a negative person that hates himself. And if he is complaining about hate or criticism that he receives because he has moved dishonestly in relationships with women, here's a wacky idea. How about y'all throw on cast members that have good morals and hold themselves well as human beings and are honest? It's so crazy, and I'm going to keep using examples because throughout the tell-all, it almost makes it a bit unwatchable. And that's the problem, is that the show feels disingenuous to a point because they're going for shock value and no growth, no teaching, no lessons, no learning. And it's sad because if Ben and Akini were actually there instead of these people, the conversations would be a lot different. At the time that I'm filming this video, part 3 of the tell-all hasn't come out yet. Brandon and Mary have been kicking back throughout this entire tell-all. They are actually pretty happy about the situation because they're looking at all these other relationships and saying to themselves, wow, we're actually not the worst ones here. I mean, they're not. In terms of laziness and a lot of the criticisms we've had for Brandon, I'll tell you what, Johan is way worse. At least they're not cheating on each other. At least they want to make it work. He's staying there in the Philippines with her to support her because they just had this child. And I have been very vocal about the fact that I don't approve of family vloggers. I don't approve of people that exploit their children for views. I made a couple shorts because Brandon and Mary felt it was appropriate to make an entire dedicated TikTok page to posting midnight without her consent.
Well, duh. Sock, she can't give consent because she's a baby. Haha. I understand what you mean, though. I'd love to see a day in the life of Brandon. Mary is the only one I'm seeing try to make videos across multiple platforms. If you look at Brandon's eyes, he's playing video games all night. If I can learn how to do this, so can he. It's just a matter of effort.
And when I posted these videos, I made a mistake. I had a lot of socks point out that I should blur Midnight's face to respect her privacy. I completely agree, and I apologize for that. So from now on, any videos that I post of Midnight, I will blur her face to respect her privacy. They're using their child to get themselves out of the financial position that they place themselves in, and the financial position they place themselves in is their responsibility, not their daughter's. It is ironic though that as parents, they posted a video publicly about their hateful comments. The comments they selected weren't hateful, it was just a lot of fans pointing out that they don't appreciate the way that they're moving. And they're very irresponsible, Mary and Brandon, something that we know because we've all watched this show together. My problem with it is you've already acknowledged hateful comments, that you get hate comments, right? So I'm assuming that they've read a lot of them and it might have ruined a couple nights off camera. I can only assume that Mary has gotten more hate comments than Brandon, but I'm sure they're both very familiar with hate comments. So why would you want to subject your daughter to that? You got to think about this in a sense of a protector, because now you are a protector. And I just feel like it comes across very lazy. And it isn't just Mary and Brandon. I could extend this to Johan. Johan has so many physical gifts. He is 6'7" and he doesn't play to his strengths. And he looks outside of himself for money. He hits up all these women for money outside of his relationship with Danielle when he swore before friends, family, God to spend the rest of his life with this woman. It's disgusting.
I got something for Johan. Check this out. You don't get any Pokemon cards, but you need this right here. Stop cheating on your wife.
Proverbs 6:32, but the man who commits adultery is an utter fool, for he destroys himself. Hebrews 13:4, give honor to marriage and remain faithful to one another in marriage. God will surely judge people who are immoral and those who commit adultery. Johan, listen to me very carefully, young man. You're 6'7". You're 32 from Dominican Republic. You're one of the tallest people in the whole world. You haven't used your height to your advantage. And it is baffling because there's so many short kings that if they had your height, they'd probably rule the world. I'm 6 foot, I'm not a short king, but if I was, I would hate you even more than I already do. I don't hate anybody, actually, I'm joking, but here's the thing. I'm trying to be dramatic right now. I drink a lot of coffee, I'm trying to be dramatic. Go with me here, Socks. How about you take that time and energy, you invest it into setting up a camera, learning how to make videos on the internet, right? Crazy idea. And then start uploading fitness videos because you got a huge bump in terms of audience from the American audience that watches the show. Terrible mindsets these days. Sometimes I go out, I'm feeling chatty. I started up a conversation with the guy the other day, and he started telling me that he was on a Tinder date. I was like, oh, okay, where's your date? She came over, and I'll tell you what, this was the dumbest girl that I've ever met in my life. I'm not even kidding. She was trying to tell me and convince me that her OnlyFans audience are the top 0.1% of men in the world. Right away, the top 0.1% wouldn't be subscribed to OnlyFans. Absolutely not. I don't subscribe to OnlyFans. The only time that I've subscribed to OnlyFans is when I'm reviewing videos for y'all, which I've done in the past, but you know, since then I kind of didn't do that because I shift, I changed, I grew as a person and realized even that is weird. You know, what kind of vibrations, what kind of energy am I setting out, and you know, does that betray myself? Does that betray the message that I want to put out there? Does that betray how I want to hold myself as a man? I don't have a problem with OnlyFans creators. I have a problem with the customers. This girl was trying to convince me that her audience was the top 0.1% of men. And I asked her, okay, well, how do you measure that? Because I'm entertained. I want to see the answer because this is obviously a fool. Immediately, what do you think she went to? Finances. Oh, they're so financially successful because they're sending you a bunch of money. You're assuming that they're billionaires or whatever they are. And even if they are, even if they're very financially successful, is that the measure of a man? How financially successful is that a man's only worth? That seems very shallow. And I told this to her. And I said, I'm the top 1% of men. And she looked at me, she's like, you think you're financially at the level they're at? Oh, you're basing everything on finances. Well, what about all the love and devotion that I can give? What about I'm in great physical shape? I come from a good family. I have high morals. I've never cheated on a woman in my life. I'm honorable. I try to carry myself well. Money isn't real. And that's the thing that a lot of cast members need to realize on the show because they do a lot of things for money. Money is not real. It's a mindset. It's about talent. When you have talent and you dedicate your time and energy to a craft, whatever that craft is, and you can learn how to share that, how to monetize that. It's not about the money, it's about what you're doing to get the money. It's about the journey. And if you put all your focus towards something, you're gonna be successful. It's only a matter of time. You gotta believe in yourself. The problem is that we don't see a lot of growth. And it doesn't help when the network brings people in to give advice and they start talking about, hey, have y'all ever been in a threesome or not? That's what they talk about.
So never have I ever had a menage a trois.
I'm not even kidding. Look at this. The people with threes up means that they haven't had a threesome. The people with twos up means that they have. And Tim was so quick to brag about he had a threesome with Veronica and then somebody else. We don't know who the other person is. Hopefully it's not Jamal. I mean, that would be terrible. That would break Kimberly's heart. I'll be honest, y'all. At first I was hella confused why Tim was bragging about having a threesome with Veronica. But then I thought about it, and it's probably because he's comfortable in his own skin, right, Kenny? That's why he would want to share his partner with another person, because he's comfortable doing so. Sharing his partner with another person. That's not love. And no wonder the relationship didn't work out. You know, sometimes, like, it's not confiding in you, but I feel like a lot of times people will try to get your validation or your approval of the way they move, and you don't have to. Don't you ever let these lost souls put a price tag on you. Your worth can't be measured by a monetary value. You're indispensable. You're the only unique you in existence, and you have gifts and talents. So long, farewell to you, my friends. Once again, the holidays are coming up, and I recently saw a story that the FBI has put out a warning about charging stations in airports and buses. I guess cyber criminals have been using juice jacking methods, basically attempting to steal people's data. So I went ahead and added battery packs to our Amazon storefront. That way, as we are traveling to see our friends and family, we can charge our phones and not have to worry about this problem. See how easy that was, Johan? Instead of relying on a woman, what I did was I saw that there was a problem and I found a solution, and I offered the solution that is so easily accessible because all you have to do is click on our bio link and bam, you're on our community storefront. I hope y'all have happy holidays with friends and family. If you want some one-on-one time with me, please order a Cameo. I give good advice on there. I can tell you funny stories, roast you. We got a lot of options. We here at Yourwetsock Studios, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy life to watch our videos. We really appreciate it. See y'all next time on Yourwetsock.